Hello everyone, this is part 1 of my full ZBLS tutorial. So if you don't know what ZBLS is, it's basically solving your last pair while simultaneously solving the cross on top. This is part of the ZB method, which is basically just solving your last pair while making a cross, then doing the rest in one alg. So this video will be covering 4 F2L cases, which are all the 3 move inserts. So it's gonna cover this pair, this one, and this one. So for this case, when all your edges are oriented, you will just insert it normally. When 2 of your edges are oriented on the top and the left, and your pair is here, you will do a sledge. When these 2 edges are oriented and your pair is here, you're gonna do a U2 to put it over here. Then you're gonna do a sledge, which will orient your edges. Then you'll just insert the pair. For this one, when there's a line, you're basically going to be sledging it with extra U moves. So you're gonna do the first move of a sledge, U prime, then continue your sledge again, then do U. Then before you do your last F prime of the sledge, you fix the pair. So for this one, when there's one edge oriented and it's at the top, you're gonna move the pair here. Then you're gonna do like kind of a sexy. Then you're just gonna sledge this pair in. Now for this case, when the oriented edge is in front of you and the pair is here, you're gonna do a U. Then you're gonna do an S move. And then you're gonna insert it and do an S. So it's really fast. So for this case, when the oriented edge is over here, you're gonna do a sledge, but then you're gonna cancel into a sexy move, then F prime. Now for this one, when you have no edges oriented, there's actually many ways you can do this. The way I do it personally is I move the pair over here, I do a sledge to solve these 2, which just sets it up to a normal sledge case. So for this F2L pair, when your edges are oriented, you're just gonna rotate and insert it normally. Another option is just using F moves, but that's not very fingertip friendly. So you just do it like. So for this case, when you have 2 edges oriented here, you're gonna do a hedge. So now, when you have 2 edges oriented over here and your pair is over here, you're gonna hold the pair over here, then do this. Then do a U. So fast. Now when you have a line that's parallel to the pair, you're actually gonna, you have like 2 ways you can do this. You can do a U prime or U2 R prime, then insert it like that. Or you can do a wide D or rotate, then F or U or prime F prime. Both of them are okay. Both ways are not bad. I'm just not good at turning right now. Yeah. These are for the cases where you have one edge oriented. So just as a general kind of rule of thumb to help you remember the algs, is that when you start it, the one oriented edge will be in this position at the top. You're gonna do an R prime, D prime, then a wide R. Then you're gonna move the pair to the front with a U prime, then R prime, D, R. So for this case, the same rule of thumb applies. Put it at the top, do your RD stuff, bring the pair to the front, undo set of moves. So now for this case, same rule. The oriented edge goes to the top, but the alg is slightly different. The alg is kind of similar to like this OLL. So the first moves are the same, but then you do a wide R to pair this up, then a U prime to put it in, and fix it. Okay, so I know 2 ways to do this one. So you can do it like this, where you insert the pair with wide R moves, then you just insert this edge like that. But another way is you can do a U prime, then you can do a RU prime R prime to orient one of the edges, which will set up into this case, which we've already learned. You can choose either one. I would personally do this one just because it flows better. Now for this F2L pair, when all your edges are oriented, you could just do this, or you can do a rotation and insert it. Alright, so for this case, when these two edges are oriented and your pair is here, you're gonna do an S to pair it up, kind of like this case. Then you're gonna do an inverse sexy to insert it, then fix the S later. So fast. So for this case, when these two edges are oriented and you have this pair, you're gonna pair it up. Then you're gonna do a wide R, U prime, R prime, F2. Then that'll orient your edges and make your pair ready to insert. So for this case, when you have a line, you're gonna do a U prime, then an R prime to pair this up, F, R, then you're gonna insert this pair. Then you're gonna cancel into fixing this. Another way I know how to do it from this angle is you can pair it up like this, then solve it. So for this case, when you have one oriented edge here, you're just gonna do hold it from this angle and do an S, S prime, insert it S. Very simple. For this pair, you're gonna hold it from this angle. I'm gonna do a R2, D, R prime, U prime, R, like wide R prime, U prime, or wide R, D prime, R2. How this alg works is you do these two moves, then you do a wide R to pair this up, tuck it here, then solve it. Okay, so for this case, when this edge is oriented, you're gonna hold it at this angle and do R prime, D prime, then wide R, U prime, R prime, D, then insert this pair. So how this alg works is you do an R prime, D, then these three moves pair this up, then you just insert it. So for the case when you have no edges oriented, there's two ways you can do this. The first way is like this. The other way you can do it is you can rotate to this angle, then you do a R, D, then you do a wide R prime, U prime, wide R, and what that basically does is it orients all of your edges. Then undo your setup move and insert it. So for this next pair, most of the cases have multiple ways you can do it, so I'm just going to be showing the ones I would do. Anyways, for this one where three edges are oriented and you have this pair, you're just going to do a normal insert. Now for this case, when these two are oriented, there's many ways you can do it. So one way is you can do S, then sexy, then S prime. Another way is you can kick the pair out of the way and do an M, then insert this pair as normal, then do that. Another way is you can do an RU to R prime to pair them up, and that'll set up to this case which we learned earlier. So for this case, when these two are oriented, you can do like an F prime, U to F to pair this up and orient your edges at the same time, then insert. So for this case, when there's a line, I've kind of showed this alg before, but the lefty way, you basically hold the pair like this, then you do a wide R, U prime, wide R prime to pair this up, then you'll fix it and solve it with the cross, then solve the cube. Another way is that you can pair it like this, then just sledge it. So for this case, when there's one oriented edge here, there's kind of only one way to do it. Just S prime, insert S. Simple. So for this case, when there's one oriented edge here, you're gonna hold it at this angle, do an F, then insert this pair. Then you're gonna cancel into fixing this block, like that. So for this case, when there's one oriented edge here, you're gonna hold at this angle and you're gonna do R, U prime, R prime, which sets up to this case, which you can cancel into. So the full solution is like that. It's really spammable. So for this last case, when there's no edges oriented, you can do what I showed earlier, which is R prime, D prime, then this trigger, which orients all your edges. Or you can do an R, U prime, R prime, then cancel into this case. So that concludes part 1 of my ZBLS tutorial. If you have any suggestions on how I should teach algs, or you have any better algs for these cases, make sure to comment them below.